another woman, cried Ella. Ella and her little sister sat there as their dad explained that he was getting engaged. Instead of this being good news to the two girls, this was the worst news they could have possibly heard. 2 years ago, Ella's parents had gone through a nasty divorce. She was devastated. She sat there crying, wondering why her perfect family was being destroyed. The divorce really affected her life. Her father moved out and moved into a new house and started this whole new life that seemed better than the life that he had before with them. And this just left her mother cold and distant. All she wanted was for her life to go back to normal and for everything to stop changing. Listen, girls, there has to be some changes that are going to happen soon, said her father sternly. I would really like if you could meet Vicky, my fiance. Why don't you come over for dinner? We can introduce you, and I really think you're going to like her. Ella and her sister Sarah just sat there in silence. They've never met this woman, and it was safe to say they were not excited. I don't want to meet Vicky. She sounds horrible. Ella screamed to her dad as she kicked and stomped her feet. Ella, stop that. This is final. You have to meet her and you have to make an effort to get to know her. I really think once you meet her, you'll love her. Ella sulked and moped around her mom's house for the rest of the day with a pit in her stomach. How could this happen? She stared at the clock knowing that, tomorrow was going to be the day that changed her life, and she was not excited. That night she went to bed, tossing and turning in her sleep, hoping and praying that this was just a bad dream. But as she woke up every hour, she realized, unfortunately, it was not. The next morning she woke up with a pit in her stomach, and it seemed like time was flying. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, where did the time go? Ring, ring, the clock struck 6. It was time for dinner. Ella's heart sank. Beep, beep. Her dad pulled into her driveway and laid on the horn to let him know that he was waiting outside. Ella looked at her sister with pure fear. What if she tries to lock us away? She squealed. Her sister burst into tears. What if she tries to poison us? She squealed. The two girls reluctantly got into the car, palms sweating and their hearts racing. They sat silently until they pulled into their dad's driveway, and he turned around and said, "Remember, girls, be nice." The two girls walked into the house, and there she was, standing there with her long black hair, and she greeted them with this evil, horrible grin. "Hi, girls, I'm Vicky. It's so good to finally meet you." She was horrible. The girls avoided eye contact and conversation for as long as they could. Sarah looked at her sister Ella and said, "Psst, hey, over here." The two girls snuck away and went to explore the house so they could avoid the evil stepmom-to-be. They couldn't believe what they saw in this house. They walked into the kitchen to only see a huge, big black pot of boiling water. Ella freaked out, looked at her sister, and screamed, "That has to be her cauldron!" Her little sister looked with pure fear. They walked further into the kitchen, scared and panicked. "Oh my God, what are those powders and liquids? Those have to be her poisonous potions." The girls were so scared that they ran out of the kitchen so fast that Ella didn't see this big, goopy red puddle on the floor. She slipped. She looks at her hands with the red on her hands. "Oh my God, it's blood! We have to get out of here!" "Girls, time for dinner," their dad yelled. The two girls slowly crept into the dining room and sat down, their faces white as ghosts. "So girls, I heard you love spaghetti," said Vicky. "I really hope you like it," she said with that evil grin. "Spaghetti? What?" Ella thought to herself. "I mean, yeah, we love spaghetti," she said, as she admitted, even though she was still questioning to see if her stepmom-to-be had poisoned her dinner. She sat there quietly and waited for everyone else to start eating just in case it had been poisoned. "So far, so good," she tried to say to her sister, but when she turned over to Sarah, Sarah already had a face full of pasta. "This is delicious," Sarah exclaimed. Ella finally took her first bite, and it was heavenly. She couldn't stop eating. It was the best spaghetti she's ever had. Her dad giggled at the table and said, "I told you, Vicky, you're a great chef. I knew they would like it." "A chef?" Ella asked, really concerned. "Well, yes, dear. I'm actually an executive chef in New York City. And as soon as I heard that you guys were coming for dinner with your big appetites, I made sure to bring all my pots, pans, and best spices from work. I'm really glad you like it." It all started to make sense to the girls. The boiling water was not a cauldron. The bottles of powders and liquids were not any sort of poison, and the red goopy substance on the floor was not blood. Ella had so many questions to ask Vicky. She wanted to know, where in the city did she work? What does she like to make? And most importantly, does she make sushi? Throughout the dinner, Ella started to ask all these questions and sharing her own cooking experiences. Like that time she made this wonderful thing called ramen noodles all by herself with no supervision. It was all very exciting to Ella. Ring, ring, the clock struck 12. Oh my, I can't believe how late it is, exclaimed her dad. I must get you two home. Oh man, do we have to go home, Dad? Now? Whined the two girls. Yes, it's getting late, but you guys can come over tomorrow after school if you want. Yay, they exclaimed. That night, in the car ride home, Ella started to think that maybe this change wasn't so bad. Maybe this change would be a good thing. I mean, her soon not-so-evil stepmom-to-be was going to be a chef. How bad could that be? That night, she climbed into her bed and drifted slowly off to sleep, thinking about her dad and how happy he seemed. She honestly hadn't seen her dad like this in years, and it made her happy to see that he was in a good place. She was also so excited to bring all her favorite recipes and cookbooks to Vicky's house tomorrow to show and maybe learn how to make some things. This was the first time that Ella had decided to accept a change in her life, and not only accept it, but embrace it, and it was a great feeling. Thank you.